This has the chance to be one of the best Betfair trading strategies that we've seen. It has very low risk, has huge rewards, but the only issue we've got with it is the strike rate. But we've got some historical data, and I've ran a bot for the past 24 hours to try and gauge the market ourselves to see if it still works, and I've got some results for you. But before we get into it, what actually is this strategy? So this strategy is very, very simple, and it is laying 1.01. Now, if we come over to the horse racing category, as you can see over here, looking at this 2:15 at Catterick, if we were to lay any horse at 1.01 and then get that horse matched, let's say with £100 worth of stake, you can see it would be £1 worth of liability, and then any other horse over here, if they go on to win, would be £98 worth of profit. Now, what does this actually mean? For those of you who aren't interested in odds and don't know what they mean, this essentially means that a horse will get down to as low as 1.01. If a horse is getting to the low point of 1.01, they are pretty much winning that race. It is almost guaranteed that they're winning that race. There is no better odds you can get for them to win that race. And it's at that point that your bet would go through. I'd say it's the equivalent of a football team being about 4-0 up in the 88th minute. You're going to get good odds on them to win, and you're not going to really make much profit. So we're essentially here saying that that horse, that is the clear favourite at this point, will not win the race. So what we need for that to happen can be a whole range of things. We either need the horse to just suddenly slow down, or we need all the other horses to suddenly get quicker. But it does happen. It doesn't happen often, but it does still happen. I'd even say in football, the likelihood is that a team is at 1.01 to win when they are 2-0 up in the 88th minute. And it still does happen sometimes that teams will lose. But I do feel like when it comes to laying 1.01, yes, you can use horse racing, football, tennis, cricket, greyhound racing. You can use any sport or event that you want. But I just personally think horse racing is going to be the best for it, just because there are other factors. As awful as it may seem, horses do sometimes just slip and fall over, and that's all you're going to need in this instance for that horse that was the favourite to no longer win. Now, the historical data we've got is coming from two sites, the Game Hunter and flatstats.co.uk. These are pretty much just blog and forum posts, so the data may not be accurate, but we have got some of our own real live data from the last 24 hours to show you as well. But as you can see from this set of data, if we look over on Flat Stats, they had data coming from, yes, it's a while ago, but 2005, which said, or in fact 2004, because it was last year, but you can see there was 7,002 horses traded at 1.01 during June to December. 6,824 of them went on to win, 178 of them went on to lose. Now, that may seem instantly that this isn't profitable. What will be the point? You're going to bet on, or you're going to lay 7,002 horses, and you're only going to see a profit 178 times. But let's look at the maths. If we're going with that staking method that we have over here, which is £100 worth of stake or £1 worth of liability for £98 worth of risk if you're on that Betfair basic plan. So we're going to lose £1 every time a horse wins, but win £98 every time that horse doesn't win. So let's take a look at these odds over here. We've got £6,824 in our loss column, because that's how many times we lost that £1. But then in the win column, we've got 178 times £98, which is then coming in at 17,444, which over the course of this little section here, June to December in 2004, would have made us £10,500, £10,620 to be specific. But that there is from £1 worth of risk in each bet. Tell me that doesn't sound too good to be true. Moving on to the next set of data, we've got these coming in, and this is from 2009 to 2011. So again, quite a while ago, but we've got some data. We've got 28,000 horses getting matched. Only 387 of them went on to lose. So that means we have 27,000 £613 in losses in this instance. But then we've got 387 winning, which returns us 37,926. So again, in this instance, we're looking at 10,313. So you can see here where the profit can be made. Yes, you're going to be hit with a lot of losers, but them few wins are going to go a long way. Now, them data sets were both from a very long time ago. So what I've done is I've loaded up a Betfair bot manager. For those of you who don't know, Betfair bot manager essentially allows you to create a strategy over on their system and then test it. You can either test it in the simulation mode, which will just use the Betfair markets and keep track of how well it would do, or you can use it in real mode and it will place the bets for you on your Betfair account. I'm just using it in simulation mode for the time being. I'm going to use it for the next few weeks, testing out some of the strategies. It's going to mean we can get a huge amount of data sets for any of the type of set and forget strategies or strategies where there's minimal little automation needed behind them. I'm not great at using Betfair Bot Manager. I can build basic strategies in it. So any sort of basic strategy we want to see back tested, I can literally load this up, load the markets, and set my computer away for the next week and get a week's worth of results for every single market. So as you can see in the bottom, we've had this running for about 20 hours, 18 minutes and 38 seconds. I set up a strategy for tennis, horse racing, dogs and football to lay 1.01 in the under 2.5 goal market. You can see we didn't get matched that often. The dogs, I don't think it works. I've either done something horrifically wrong with how I've set out this strategy, but it's identical to the horses, just with the dogs instead. So something's gone wrong there. It has been looking to place the bets, but then they've been lapsing. Not too sure what's going on there, but I'm guessing the dogs just isn't working. But I'll look into that and get back to you in the future. But you can see with tennis, we got 28 instances matched, and we didn't win a single one. So we 28 times that 1.01 got laid and got matched, and all 28 times the person we laid went on to win. We then have football we'll go to next, where you can see we managed to get that matched 6 times. It may not seem like a lot, but I put in a little caveat in that so that it wouldn't get matched after the 85th minute, just because if it's 0-0 after the 85th minute, it's going to get hit at 1.01 and then we need 3 goals. It's unlikely, and I wanted to make sure that we had a little bit of selection with that. So football, we only got matched 6 times and it didn't happen in any of them. But then we have the horses. We only got matched 21 times in the horses, which may not seem like a lot. And to be fair, Betfair Bot Manager do state that on the simulation mode, it's not entirely accurate with how often it matches and if it gets the bets done correctly. So we will test this out in real mode, just with smaller stakes. But you can see we got matched 21 times. And in them 21 times, 2 horses didn't end up winning. Now I think this is massively overperforming where we expect it to be, which is why I am going to leave it running just for the horses for a much longer period. I'm actually going to try and leave it running for around a month, just so we can see where we're at. I'm going to leave it running for around a month, see what the profit and loss is, and then decide if we're going to go into real mode or not. I'm also going to test out some little other strategies here and there and see where they end up. But you can see after the 21 races, we would have been £180 in profit on the horses front. Not too bad for only £1 worth of risk. I wish I did it for the past 20 hours with my own bankroll, but I didn't. But you can see here where we could be making some big amounts of profit using the laying 1.01 strategy. The back data says we'd be at a profit. The data from the past 20 hours says we'd be a profit. Now, as a little disclaimer, of course you could go away and do this now and lay 1.01 on every horse race for the next 3 months and not win a single one. There is still going to be some luck involved, but the early signs are promising. So let me know down in the comments if you've got any other strategies you want me to try out on Betfair Bot Manager and backtest and leave running for weeks to see where we'd end up. I've already got a few in mind that I'm going to give a go to, so hopefully we can start collecting some big amounts of data. I'll keep record of them all as well and let you know how they go. Let me know if you've got any other strategies and let me know what your thoughts are on laying 1.01. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.